Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. I didn't get ret. I just don't feel well. It is 8:50 already, so I only have 5 minutes for this video. I haven't even gotten things running yet. I'm definitely running late. I'm hopeful that this is the most challenging week of the year. Um, it was a heck of a week. We definitely have like a couple of um, illnesses popping around. A lot of people seem to have the flu right now. A lot of people have different things going on. It is January 30th, 2026. And I think that this week it's Friday, and I think that this week was the most difficult week of the year. Um, it's hard to tell because I think it's either the fourth or fifth week of this month. Um, so, we're um, not necessarily like there's 52 weeks, so let's say this was five. There's still 47 weeks that could be worse, but man, this one seemed pretty bad. All right, so when I created my ritual 2 years ago, so I believe that was in what, the beginning of 2024. I worked all the way to 2025, and I had made this basic foundational assumption, and that's that ThreeJS, the API, would be the truth, would be my single source of truth. Ooh, what the? Oh, PM start. Apparently, I typed that in twice. Um, so I thought that, hey, we're gonna have a single source of the truth, and that's gonna be ThreeJS and blah 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 blah. And that didn't work. And it was a good idea. But the main problem is that the things that ThreeJS holds as truths aren't necessarily always consistent with the things that I want to hold as a truth. And right off the bat, the camera is the best example in that when I have in my animations in general, I would rather optimize for the camera always looking at what I tell it to look at, as opposed to the camera holding its position. So when you say a ThreeJS, and you say, hey, here's my object, here's my camera, and you move your camera or you move your object, the camera doesn't move with anything. It just kind of keeps looking at whatever it's looking at. So if you say, "Hey, M3JS, what am I looking at?" It doesn't know because, they could have changed. It knows what it was originally pointed at. I don't even know that it knows that. Um, so I would rather have it always look at the same thing. So anyway, so I came up with the concept of like doppelgangers, and basically we have the three side and the ST side and blah 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 blah. And then I sort of my verbiage started changing. It was like, oh, I have a ST. Anything that is how I want it to be is defined in ST, and anything that is how it is in to 3JS is defined to make up the difference between to shim the difference between what how I want it and how 3JS sees it. Will that belongs there, and that is a difference. It isn't doppelgangers. Well, at that point I had also decided I want to have animations, and animations I thought was just going to be its sort of individual thing up above everything else, but no, it also needs specific code for 3GS and things like that. So, and then the request animation frame. I thought so. Now I'm doing a massive refactor on the animation, and animation was kind of the very first thing that I sort of built out. So that means it's the least mature of everything. So there's that. So it looks like I was trying to. Okay, so it looks like I've gotten rid of that, and we're working on this create animation function for ID. So first of all, that's wrong, right? We're creating an animation for an ST renderer. So I'm going to fix that right now. It accepts a renderer, so obviously, and these sort of things become clearer and more obvious as time goes by, and so you can kind of feel kind of silly. Um, later on, once you built things out and you're like, wait, why is this named so weird? This name is wrong. So now this is create an animation function for an ST renderer, and it's going to return a function. And the first thing it's going to do is it's going to get the scene by ID. And what I would like this basically to do is be a one-liner so that I can move it out. Um, okay, so now we're saying, hey, if this ST renderer is deleted, then do this. So I don't even know why. So we pass it an ST renderer, and then we say, hey, if it's deleted, do this, which I think used to be a problem. I don't think it's a problem anymore. So now inside of, I always called these branches inside this branch, but I guess there's a bit of an overload with that and Git. And my boss always calls them blocks. So basically, in between here and here is a block. So I'm going to try to shift over to that verbiage. But okay, so I get the scene. Okay, what do I need this scene for? Okay, so I need this scene so I can get the mesh IDs. And what do I need? I need the mesh IDs so I can go over them and do this. But I would rather go over meshes. I'm just trying to like slowly but surely tease out all the different things. So I would rather have a set of meshes instead of mesh IDs. So const st mesh and then colon st mesh. Okay, so now we want to get our meshes instead of IDs. We want to get our meshes here. So where do we get the mesh? So right now we're getting, it's interesting. Yes. So here's what we get our three mesh. We have our mesh ID. We have our mesh. Oh, okay. So we get our three mesh here. Oh, so maybe we only need three mesh. Looks like we also need our animations. ST animations. This is where we get our IDs. Oh, okay, this is what I wanted to do next. Let ST animation service get sent for mesh ID. So here's where I want to get the animations. I guess this is what I was working on yesterday. Okay, so let's go to our ST animation service. It's not where I'm at though right now, is it? Right now I think I'm in my, yeah, services at the top, but I want to be in my ST service, ST animation, in here. ST animation service. Get animations for STID. Okay, so we want to get ST animations for mesh ID, right? We want to create this function. Let's see. Control B. I hate it when I do that. Control V. It took me forever to figure out that's what I was doing. For mesh ID, and it's going to take a mesh ID. So maybe I don't need to get all the animation, and it's going to return ST animation array. All right, and then this is going to be a number. And this thing's going to need to know how to get meshes. Right? It's going to need to know how to get the mesh for a given ID. I don't think it has the mesh service right now. All right, so yeah, it's 9 o'clock, so I gotta go. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.